pair. This is certainly turning into an exciting day of racing here on day 3 of the 2017 World Rowing Championships. Finn McQuillan, Tolan and Patrick Boomer for Ireland in lane 1, Christopher Cruz and Peter Holmqvist of Denmark in lane 2, Nenad Bejic and Milos Vasic of Serbia in lane 3, Alexander Sigurjonsson and Pau Velamaji for Spain in lane 4, Michael Colella and Anders Weiss of the USA in lane 5, and Francisco Estras and Axel Haak for Argentina in lane 6. We're just over a minute away from the start of this first repechage for the men's pair. You can see they're already ahead of schedule, getting situated up at the start, just going through their own mental preparation for what's yet to come. It's getting toasty out there. You can see the sun beating down, but the conditions are absolutely spectacular here at Nathan Benderson Park in Sarasota, Bradenton. Beautiful state of Florida, USA. For those tuning in from home, it is very, very warm here. It's 90 degrees Fahrenheit, tipping over 32 degrees Celsius here, and it's hot out there on the water. Of course, you get the reflection from the water, so these guys will be lathered up in sun cream. You can see they've barely started racing, and they're already sweating buckets, so it's been really tough for everybody. Make sure they stay hydrated and safe in the heat of the sun out here in Florida.
The men's pairs repechage about to begin. 2 of the repechage on the way. 1 through 3 finishing at the line. We'll go to the semifinal A, B. The remaining crews to the C final. Some of the most difficult boats to row in the sport of rowing. These pairs, rowing is all about teamwork and working together, and you really, really have to work together in these boats. 1 oar per rower, each rower responsible for one side of the boat, and if you don't pull it exactly the same as your partner, well, you're not going straight down the course, shall we say. You'll be going much like that one commercial you see on television every now and then, in circles. But these rowers at this level, they know what they're doing.
Here we go, we're underway. A great shot of Alexander Sigurjonsson and Pau Velamaji from Spain shooting out of the blocks to start this first repechage for the men's pair. Good even start across the board there, but the field's already starting to spread out ever so slightly. Spain go off at 46, USA at 45, Serbia, the well-known Serbian pairing here, Nenad Bejic and Milos Vasic. We're going to see them re-emerge later on. They're currently striking 41, certainly a pairing to keep your eyes on as this race progresses. But it's the Spaniards, Sigurjonsson and Velamaji, who are currently leading by nearly half a length now.
Lot of power, a lot of horsepower you see in these elite athletes out there on the water as they are making these boats move down the course. In the heats, only 2 boats went to the semifinals. We'll get the 3 more out of these repechage right now. Some very fast times, so it'll be interesting to see how it shakes out as they move down the course here at Nathan Benderson Park in beautiful Sarasota, Bradenton, Florida for the 2017 World Rowing Championships. Glad to have you along, whether you're watching at home or here in the grandstands, cheering these boats on. Shot of Michael Colella and Anders Weiss there from the USA as they are in the middle of this pack, and this pack is staying packed. I'm beginning to spread slightly, but really, Peter, beginning to stay together.
Well, you can see the Serbians starting to move up now. They want to make their presence felt, certainly in this middle 1,000. So they were silver medalists in Poznan, silver medalists in Belgrade, bronze medalists at the European Championships in Repechage. So they have been on the circuit through this summer, making their presence felt at every event. But they certainly need to put the pressure on if they want to contend with the Spaniards in this repechage.
Indeed, they're moving on down. The Spaniards now looking at the familiar almost V shape of these boats as they come down. In the heats, when they are determining the repechage, the advantage you have in the center of the course is the ability to see the entire field that you're competing against. So you want to have a fast time so that you end up in the middle of the course, and that's exactly where Spain is right now and out in front, which allows you to see the competitors even better.
It's so important as well, because when you can see what the others are doing, you can decide what you need to do next. If you see somebody putting in a power 10 or a bit of a burn, you can react to that to hold position out in the lead. We can see a surge coming in here from Serbia. Milos Vasic in the stroke seat takes their rating up ever so slightly, and it looks as though it's having the desired effect. It's closed down to just under half a length. Serbia actually got a yellow card at the start for a uniform infraction, but it's certainly not having much of an impact on their race here because they're drawing level with the leaders.
Amazing. Now the Americans hanging right in there on the stern of the leading Spanish boat, but there goes Serbia into the lead by about a foot or two, and they continue to surge forward and make a move. Now here come the Americans as well.
Such cool customers, Nenad Bejic and Milos Vasic leading the way through halfway.
Yes, Pete, as you rightly pointed out, they got such a pedigree, the Serbs, right the way through the European circuit. They've rarely been far from the medal podium, and here they are leading the way at the halfway mark ahead of Spain and the USA. Those three boats hanging on to the qualifying positions. A length and a half back in fourth, pressure point on the Argentinians, Esteras and Haak, with McCullen, Tolan and Boomer for Ireland over there in fifth, half a length up on Denmark.
I'm looking at this United States boat, Robert, right in front of me, Anders Weiss. He's repeating in this event. He was in it in Rio. He was in the bow seat. He's now stroking this pair, and his new partner is Michael Colella. And they are starting to pull away a little bit from that fourth place Argentinian boat. And it does look like the Irish pair up there in lane one are starting to move into Argentina as well. So Argentina may be fading a bit, but if you look at the bow ball of the United States, they're about to catch hold of the stern of the Spanish pair.
Well, the pace being set by Bedic and Vasic for Serbia means they have blown away the Spanish opposition. There is a length and a half in it between first and second as the US hang on grimly to the shirt tails of the second place Spanish boat. Over out there on the far side, as David was saying, Boomer and McCullen Tolan, the combination from Newig and Belfast, really trying to make ground for fourth position on the Argentinians, but fourth is not where it counts. Only the leading three will move through to the semi-final and a crack at the medals later in the competition. The remaining crews relegated to the C final. 500 meters to go, and it's Serbia all the way.
It is Serbia. If you watch these gentlemen row, it's very deliberate with the bodies and with the hands. And they rowed together at the Rio Olympics. They finished 10th, so they have a lot of experience together with one another, and they continue to inch out from that second place Spaniard boat. At one point, like I said, the Americans had a slight touch of that Spanish pair. They have lost touch. It's a couple of feet of open water separating the Spaniards back to the United States, who are going to try to hang on to that third spot as they approach about 300 meters to go, do the Americans. But out front continues to be the Serbians as they hit the red buoys.
A class act from Bedic and Vasic as they head their way into the last 250. Spain, well, I think they can relax a little. They know that they've qualified long since back. But just look at Argentina coming in on the grandstand side. Less than 200 to go. A length to make up on the States. Can they make it, Peter?
It's such an amazing sprint we're starting to see here now. They go up over 40. Axel Haak in the stroke seat with Francisco Esteras closing down that lead. This is going to be a tight one. USA, Argentina to the line. Folks in the grandstand, they're going to need your support.
Anders Weiss there, seeing the surge from the Argentinians, begins to kick up the pace as well as they're coming down to the finish line. Serbia beginning to ease off just a bit, but not much as the Spaniards continue to surge. The Americans now walking up on the Spaniards and fending off the Argentinians.
They're both at 42 here, absolutely neck and neck. They're quite close as well. We might have a clash coming up towards the line. The Serbians cross the line to win. Spain are going to take second, and it's neck and neck. The USA just cling on to it across the line for that third crucial place into the AB semi-final. Argentina finish in fourth. We then have Ireland on the far side for fifth place and Denmark in sixth. They'll go through to the C final. What an amazing sprint finish from the USA and Argentina, Mark.
And especially in these pairs, when you get sprinting in the pairs, it's so easy to have one little misstep and screw things up majorly. But the Americans held right in there. Weiss and Colella pumping their fists in